there, it's Lori, aka Lori Has Hope, and this is Sunday, October 25th, 2015. And I'm just here to talk about something that's been bothering me since I moved to this apartment. And I don't even know how to explain it. I think I said some of this in my last video, but if anybody understands or can explain it to me, please do. I mean, this place is beautiful. It's a lot bigger than what I had, but it doesn't feel like home. I've only been here 2 weeks as of yesterday, so I'm pretty sure it's going to take a while to get used to it. And I mean, I lived in the other place for almost 25 years. That's close to half my life. And there were so many good memories there. Yes, there's some very sad memories there also. I lost all of my immediate family while I lived there. But I also had all of my immediate family when I lived there, at least for the first few years. I moved in 1991. I lost my daddy in 1993. I lost my brother in 1999. I lost my mama in 2001. So I was there for about 14 years after my immediate family had passed away. But it was all familiar to me, and I had many memories of all the good times we'd had together. I also have good memories of relationships. I mean, I haven't had a lot of relationships. I'm not one that hops from one guy to the next, just, like their buses, there'll be another one along in 10 minutes. It's just not the way I am. I have been married more than once. I've said that before. And I've had probably 3 serious relationships. The last one I thought was going to become a marriage. In fact, he was the first one that started talking marriage, and it wasn't me, it was him that started talking about getting married and how wonderful it'd be to walk in the door and say, "Hi, honey, I'm home." And it just wasn't meant to be. So it didn't happen. And I've talked about it before, so I won't go into it again, but all I'll say is that he was the most wonderful guy in the world, and I was more in love with him than I had ever been in love with any of my husbands. And from one night to the next day, he changed into a completely different person that I didn't even know. And then things went totally downhill from then. And we didn't get married the next year in June like we planned. And that was back in 2011. And I haven't had a serious relationship since then. It's just when you get hurt too many times, it's hard to trust anyone. And it's not because I don't want to. I do want to. I want to fall in love and I want to get married again. And I know I will. I know the Lord has a plan for me, and it includes a soulmate that He made just for me. And that soulmate will come into my life in the Lord's time. Everything happens in His time. So it'll happen when I least expect it. But anyway, I got clear off track. Back to the apartment. I guess I just feel, even though I lived alone at the other place for so many years, I feel more alone here. I guess because I have more space to be alone in. I think I'm actually going crazier than I used to be. But it's not that I don't like the place, because I do. I love the place. And I know none of this makes any sense, but, something I needed to talk about. And I'm sorry. I think I was wearing this same lounging dress the other day when I made my video. I kind of alternate back and forth with some of them, and I don't do a whole lot of stuff to get dirty, so it's not dirty, I promise you. And I do have a washer and dryer right here in my apartment that I can wash up my clothes, and I could wear the same ones every day if I wanted to, but I don't like to do that. I try not to show up in the same thing I was wearing last time, but this time I just felt the need to talk, and I was at my computer, and I thought, it doesn't really matter what I'm wearing. What I have to say is what matters. And I want to know what you all think. And be honest. Am I being totally unreasonable in not feeling comfortable here yet? Not being able to really get into a routine? I want to. I really do. But one thing I know that is making me uncomfortable is my mama's cedar chest has not been moved over here from the old apartment yet. And it's so special to me, and I'm so worried it's going to get left behind and it won't make it over here. But at the same time, I know the Lord won't let that happen. He'll find a way. Someone will move it for me. I thought my niece and her husband and maybe one of his brothers was going to do it this weekend, but I know they're busy, and LaVon, my caregiver and also my BFF, she told me, she said, we'll get it over there. And I know if she says that, she'll make it happen. If it wasn't for her and her family, nothing would have been moved over here. Because I'm not able to carry anything down the stairs besides myself, my cane, and my purse. So, she is a very giving person. And I'm just so thankful for her and her family and her friends that helped to get most of my things over here so far. And she told me yesterday that she would make sure the rest of everything gets over here, especially my mama's cedar chest. And there's a couple of little glass tables that are my mama's that I want over here also. So I have a feeling those will probably be here either tomorrow or the next day, probably Tuesday. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. 10 minutes is just about too long. Well, it is too long. And I need to get out of this chair because, as you can tell, I'm kind of moving around because it's not comfortable. It's got a hard seat and it leans forward. I always feel like I'm going to fall out of it, especially since I've lost weight. I just slide back and forth. But for all of you who have hung in there through this whole long, boring video, I do appreciate it. And please leave me some comments and let me know if I'm going totally crazy or if this is a normal reaction after moving from a place where you lived for a quarter of a century into a brand new place. So with that, I'm going to wish you all a wonderful evening. Enjoy yourselves, whatever you may be doing. Be safe and keep smiling and keep a PMA. It really does help to keep a positive attitude. And I'm talking to myself right now. I'm positive, but I could be much more positive. And I'm working on it. I work on it every day. This will become my home in time. So take care. Love you all.